Gargano kicks out, and I'm gonna paint this picture for you. Before the match started, they were all about Adam Cole, but as the match progressed, they got more into Johnny Gargano and being the underdog, by himself, no friends, etc. Well, by this point, the crowd is just absolutely white hot for Johnny Gargano. They want him to win, and so at so he gets knocked out to the floor, and then miraculously, quote unquote, he takes out all three members of the Undisputed Era. And Cole tried to do another last shot. He hit one earlier, and Gargano kicked out. He tried to do another one, but Gargano caught him in the Gargano escape. Cole tried reaching for the ropes, but he rolled. Gargano rolled the hold. Adam Cole across the middle of the ring, where Cole finally tapped out. Johnny Gargano became the new NXT champion last night. His wife, Candice LeRae, came into the ring to celebrate. And just as the show was closing, this is what brought everybody to their feet. It was a real feel-good moment. The former champion, Tommaso Ciampa, wearing a neck brace, a soft neck brace, which means his healing is going really well, came out from behind the curtain and hugged Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae. It was a genuinely heartwarming heartwarming gesture. And it was a cool way to end the event with DIY and all together once again as Johnny Gargano holds the NXT title. So out of 5 matches, and they were all title matches at TakeOver last night, 2 titles changed hands, so that's not too shabby. Tonight was the WWE Hall of Fame, and the first inductee was the Honky Tonk Man, and he sang for the crowd, and everything was, it was just like the old Honky Tonk Man. The next inductee was Tori Wilson, and God bless Tori Wilson. Her father Al, who was part of a storyline in 2002, 2003. He was part of a storyline with Tori and Dawn Marie. Storyline died of a heart attack, but he went on. But unfortunately, Al Wilson passed away 2 days ago. Legitimately, I mean, there's no other way to say that. But Tori was trying her best to hold it together, and she finally had to let some of it out. And it was a real emotional scene for Tori to remember her father, and it was just a really cool to see her be inducted. And then we had Brutus the Barber Beefcake. The last time I saw him on TV, he had short gray hair. This time he was, he had longer hair, like he got hair extensions, and it was jet black. But he was just all over the place, and I couldn't understand half of what he was saying. It was like he was drunk or something, but who knows? The Warrior Award recipient, Sue Aitchison, she's the one responsible for the Make-A-Wish and WWE partnership, and she even brought out John Cena, which was surreal because we haven't seen Cena in quite a while. And he actually holds the most wishes out of any celebrity of all time. with Make a Wish, and they said, Sue mentioned that Justin Bieber tried to say that he was, but then Make a Wish posted the numbers, and sure enough, John Cena has done the most. And of course, we had the tag teams. In a real scary moment happened. The Hart Foundation, Jim the Anvil Neidhart and Bret the Hitman Hart were inducted into the Hall of Fame tonight. Of course, the Anvil was represented by Natalia, his daughter, and the Hitman was there. But as Bret Hart was getting into his speech, a fan jumps the rail, tackles Bret Hart, and the screen went to black. And then there was shots of the crowd. I saw the video of what happened on Twitter. The guy just jumped in the ring, tackled Bret Hart, and then all of a sudden, you see the New Day and Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre, Harry Smith, who was in attendance, Teddy Hart, who was in attendance, Dash Wilder of the Revival, all get in and, get this guy to the authorities, but not before Teddy Hart started pounding the guy. And then as, they're leading him to the police, Dash Wilder just decks the guy right in the face. And we go back, we finish, the Hitman speech. His hair's a little messed up. But he said that's what it was like back in the 80s. He just rolled right with it like, nothing happened. I did see a teleprompter, so I'm wondering if a lot of the speeches were done via teleprompt instead of, the handwritten stuff like they've done in the past. Then we had Harlem Heat get inducted. It was a really cool thing to see Booker T with his brother Stevie Ray be inducted. I'm surprised they didn't mention the GI Bro persona that Booker T started off with. They mentioned Sherry Martel and showed a graphic of her with Harlem Heat, which was really classy by the WWE. And of course, Harlem Heat, 10-time WCW Tag Team Champions, the most ever. No spinneroonie from Booker T. But Stevie Ray at the end of their speech did his catchphrase, "Don't get slapjack and suckers gotta know." That was his catchphrase from WCW during the latter portions of WCW. And of course, Booker T got in the "Can you dig it, sucka" line. And then it was time for DX. And it was surreal to see Billy Gunn. In fact, Triple H made a comment because they weren't supposed to say Vince McMahon, or thank Vince McMahon in their speeches. Billy Gunn said, "Well, he can't fire me," and Triple H just offhandedly says, "Well, I can buy that little podunk company you're in, and buy that podunk company that you're in, and then fire you from there." And that brought a lot of oohs and ahs. And then, of course, Shawn Michaels saying that, "Yep, Billy Gunn, yep, you got to forgive him. He's all in." And it was just, I don't know if it was pot shots at the All Elites Wrestling or what, but it was fun to see. And, of course, they did mention Chyna, who unfortunately had passed away 3 years ago. But she deserved to be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, she was a trailblazer. I mean, the first woman to have won the Intercontinental title, the first woman to be in the Royal Rumble match. She was the true trailblazer of the women's division before this whole evolution started. And, Sean Waltman, X-Pac, proposed something that, they have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Why don't we have the Chyna Memorial Battle Royal? That is a very good point there because as as some of you may or may not know, the women's battle royal started last year, and originally it was going to be called the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Battle Royal. But a lot of Moolah's old trainees came out and said she wasn't as great of a person as the WWE wants people to think. She stole money, so they quietly removed her name from that. So we'll see what happens tomorrow at WrestleMania. The New Japan Ring of Honor G1 Supercard just finished up a few minutes ago. Oh, I can't forget about the Legacy inductees, even though one of them was still alive. Uh, we had Bruiser Brody, which is good. That's good to see. That was really cool to see him get inducted in the Legacy wing of the Hall of Fame. Uh, Somebody local to here, the Pacific Northwest, Playboy Buddy Rose was inducted into the Legacy Hall, Legacy wing of the Hall of Fame. Also, Jim Barnett, he was a promoter. He was a promoter for the NWA. He promoted Georgia Championship Wrestling. He was also the promoter for Australia's World Championship Wrestling long before WCW came along. Um, then there was Mr. Shinma, who was the president of the WWF and WWF. He was the one who brokered the match between Muhammad Ali and Antonio Inoki. He also, brought a lot of the Japanese talents to America back in the 70s. And Joseph Cohen, who was the creator of the Madison Square Garden, Primo Carnera, the former world heavyweight boxing champion and regional NWA champion, Toru Tanaka, Professor Tanaka, was one of the inaugural international tag team champions in the WWF, and he's a three-time tag team champion. SD Special Delivery Jones, who was a perennial low card star, but just so respected by the crowd and his peers. He was a three-time NWA America's Tag Team Champion. Luna Vachon, of course, part of the Vachon family. Wahoo McDaniel, Chief Wahoo McDaniel, of course, was those were your inductees. Let's see. Yep, I'm on Wikipedia right now, and there is a mention of the Bret Hart assault incident. Dash Wilder, Braun Strowman, Heath Slater, Big E. I did see Xavier and Kofi, and I did see Drake Maverick. And Drake Maverick addressed the audience, asked them to ignore the incident, forget about that gentleman, and let's continue on with the speech. And that's good. So the G1 ROH Supercard just ended. So let's get into this recap. They had an Honor Rumble, which is like the Royal Rumble, and it's kind of like the New Japan Rumble at the Tokyo Dome shows. Kenny King won that. In fact, he was out first, followed by Minoru Suzuki. And I guess they edited all the audio songs from, like the Japanese, like the New Japan people guys. Hard to say. Cheeseburger came back, was next in. And then the Beer City Bruiser came in. Then Show of Roppongi 3K. And then Shingo Takagi. And then Bushi. Nobody had been eliminated by the time